June is Pride Month, and this week we are celebrating Pride Shabbat. And I hope that every week here at BHSS, those members of our community, those members attached to our community who are LGBTQ or align or identify with that community, find themselves very much at home here. And this week, what we do is we craft a service that opens the congregation's eyes to see more readily those in our community who fit in that intersection of LGBTQ and Jewish, and to hope and to help everyone embrace all that our community has to offer, all the different elements of our community have to offer. So I want to share first a reading from Mishkan Ga'ava, Where Pride Dwells, which is a relatively recent publication from the CCAR. Um, but in the introduction to prayers and blessings for the Torah service, which can sometimes be gendered in the way that we call people to the Torah as men or women, as expecting them to be called up by a father and a mother or parents' names, just to share this introductory passage to give us a better idea of what we are doing. It says, inclusion involves more than being kind and making people feel welcome. True inclusion weaves people into the fabric of community by having their experiences and lives become a part of the narrative of the community and celebrating the sacred moments of their lives. The prayer texts and rituals presented in this section will help integrate LGBTQ people and families and their perspectives into the shared fabric of every Jewish community. And isn't that fundamentally what we want? We want people to not think of themselves as, well, I am, but I am fully, I am embraced, right? To really accept the ampersands of our lives. I am this and this, not this, but also this. One of the other prayer books, Sidurim, that I come to a lot, and I've been coming to it for over a decade, is Sidur Shar Zahav. It comes out of a community in San Francisco called Shar Zahav, which is a primarily LGBTQ congregation. And one of the things that I love about this particular Sidur is, yes, it has a lot of prayers that value inclusivity and that focus on the LGBT community. And I, as an ally, as a straight person, also see myself in these prayers. And I love that it is a model for inclusivity in a way that we all see ourselves. It also does something that I think is really important to Reform Judaism and to liberal Judaism in general. And that's when it sees a need for a prayer, it encourages us to take our tradition and find a way to build on it by creating prayers and by expanding some of the ways that we think about liturgy. So, for example, one of the prayers that I love in here that you will not find in another Siddur is a prayer after a transformative encounter with another person. O fountain of blessing, you, God, who has touched me in the person of my sister, my brother, my transgender kin, each of us reaching towards you, we touch each other in kindness with compassion for growth. Everyone is different, but each shares sparks of your holiness, and when we meet, we kindle a gentle, warming fire. So you hear within this prayer the inclusivity of the LGBTQ community, but there's also this notion of just what it is to have our shared humanity, to recognize the divine in everyone, but also that, yes, there should be a blessing, something that we say when someone has impacted us, when we have had one of those moments where we recognize how important interaction with other people are in the way that it impacts our lives and can impact the world. And so I invite you to check out these resources. In addition, of course, there's all sorts of amazing stuff online. Keshet, which is a liberal Jewish um, LGBTQ organization, has keshetonline.org. They have some wonderful, wonderful resources, as well as ritualwell.org. So if you're looking for prayers, if you're looking for ways to speak up for the LGBTQ community, and specifically the Jewish LGBTQ community, these are places to find resources. If, in addition, you're looking for ways to find openings for new ways of thinking about Judaism in your life, whether you are part of the LGBTQ community or whether you are an ally or a friend to the LGBTQ community, these resources are a way um, of of filling out, of making our Judaism and our rituals more whole. Happy Pride.